As 2025 draws to a close, one name continues to dominate conversations across entertainment media, cultural analysis, and global fandom spaces: Jungkook of BTS. Months after completing his mandatory military service, Jungkook has re-emerged, not with a dramatic musical comeback, but with something arguably more powerful: an unmistakable cultural presence that has once again positioned him among the most influential K-pop figures of late 2025. This recognition did not arrive through a single headline or a sudden viral moment. Instead, it has been the result of a steady, organic accumulation of visibility, relevance, and emotional resonance. Across Korean and international media, Jungkook has been repeatedly cited in year-end editorials, influence rankings, and cultural retrospectives as one of the defining figures shaping the post-military era of K-pop. The question many analysts are now asking is not whether Jungkook remains influential, but how his influence has evolved and what it reveals about the future of global pop stardom. Unlike previous BTS eras, marked by explosive teasers and large-scale promotions, Jungkook's return to the public eye in late 2025 has been notably restrained. There were no immediate solo album announcements, no high-pressure countdowns, and no aggressive media campaigns. Instead, Jungkook appeared selectively through carefully chosen public schedules, brand activities, and group-related content. Industry observers have noted that this approach reflects a broader shift in how top-tier artists navigate fame after military service. Rather than rushing to reclaim momentum, Jungkook appeared focused on re-establishing presence without saturation, allowing public interest to rebuild naturally. This strategy proved effective. Each appearance, whether on television, digital platforms, or in global fashion campaigns, generated widespread discussion, often trending internationally within hours. Rather than diminishing curiosity, his restraint amplified it. By December 2025, Jungkook's name had surfaced repeatedly in international media roundups, highlighting the most impactful K-pop figures of the year. Publications in South Korea, Japan, the United States, and parts of Europe cited his continued relevance despite minimal musical output during the year. What stood out in these analyses was the breadth of Jungkook's influence. He was not only recognized as a singer or performer, but as a figure whose presence affects multiple industries: music, fashion, digital media, and youth culture. Several cultural critics emphasized that Jungkook represents a rare category of artist whose popularity does not rely on constant content production. Instead, his influence is sustained through public trust, emotional connection, and symbolic value built over more than a decade. Military service often represents a turning point for South Korean male celebrities. Some return stronger, while others struggle to reconnect with audiences in a rapidly changing industry. For Jungkook, the post-military narrative has been framed less around reinvention and more around continuity. Fans and media alike have commented on subtle changes in his demeanor: more measured speech, calmer body language, and a visible sense of self-assurance. Rather than diminishing his appeal, these changes have added depth to his public image. Analysts argue that this evolution has allowed Jungkook to resonate not only with younger fans, but also with older audiences who appreciate maturity and authenticity. This broader demographic reach has further solidified his status as a cross-generational cultural figure. One of the most frequently cited indicators of Jungkook's influence in late 2025 has been his continued dominance in brand partnerships. As a global ambassador for luxury and lifestyle brands, Jungkook's campaigns consistently generate high engagement across regions. What sets him apart, according to marketing experts, is his ability to maintain brand value without oversaturation. Rather than appearing in numerous campaigns simultaneously, Jungkook's brand presence remains curated and deliberate. This approach has reinforced his image as a premium global figure rather than a mass market celebrity, aligning him with long-term brand building rather than short-term exposure. Despite limited direct interaction on social media platforms, Jungkook continues to dominate digital metrics. Searches related to his name consistently spike following public appearances, while older content, music videos, interviews, and performances regularly resurfaces on trending charts. Digital analysts point out that this phenomenon reflects evergreen relevance. Jungkook's content does not expire with time. Instead, it gains renewed significance as audiences revisit it through new emotional lenses shaped by his growth and experiences. Fan communities across platforms such as X, Reddit, and Weverse remain highly active, often engaging in discussions that extend beyond entertainment into broader topics like mental health, personal growth, and the pressures of global fame. While Jungkook is fundamentally a musician, much of his late 2025 influence extends beyond music itself. His presence has become symbolic of broader conversations within the K-pop industry about sustainability, artist well-being, and the balance between global success and personal life. Cultural commentators note that Jungkook's choices are closely watched not only by fans, but also by younger idols and trainees who see him as a reference point for navigating long-term careers. This symbolic role is particularly significant in an era where many K-pop acts struggle with burnout and public scrutiny. Jungkook's measured pace offers an alternative model, one that prioritizes longevity over immediacy. Jungkook's recognition as an individual figure does not exist in isolation from BTS. With all members completing military service by late 2025, the group's collective presence has re-entered public discourse, and Jungkook's role within that narrative remains central. Media coverage frequently highlights Jungkook as a bridge between BTS's legacy and its future. As the youngest member, his growth is often seen as emblematic of the group's own evolution. This dynamic has reinforced Jungkook's influence not only as a solo figure, but as a key pillar within one of the most significant musical groups of the 21st century. Perhaps the most intangible yet powerful aspect of Jungkook's influence lies in what cultural theorists refer to as emotional capital. Over the years, Jungkook has cultivated a reputation for sincerity, vulnerability, and relatability, qualities that continue to resonate strongly with audiences. In late 2025, this emotional connection appears stronger than ever. Fan discussions often emphasize concern for his well-being alongside admiration for his achievements, reflecting a relationship built on empathy rather than consumption. This emotional capital ensures that Jungkook's influence is not easily eroded by trends or market shifts. Instead, it remains anchored in long-term trust. As year-end retrospectives continue to emerge, Jungkook's inclusion among the most influential K-pop figures of late 2025 feels less like a headline and more like a natural conclusion. His presence throughout the year, quiet yet impactful, has shaped conversations without demanding attention. In an industry often driven by constant noise, Jungkook's influence stands out precisely because it does not rely on volume. Instead, it is rooted in consistency, authenticity, and a deep understanding of his place within global culture. With 2026 on the horizon, speculation about Jungkook's next steps continues. Whether through music, group activities, or global projects, expectations remain high. But notably, they are tempered with patience. Industry insiders suggest that Jungkook is entering a phase where influence precedes output. Whatever he chooses to release next will arrive within a context already shaped by his cultural weight. In that sense, Jungkook's recognition as one of the most influential K-pop figures of late 2025 is not merely a reflection of past achievements. It is a signal of enduring relevance. and a reminder that true influence is not measured by frequency, but by impact.